Good evening, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Wanted to get on and talk about Proverbs chapter 24 tonight. Been a while since I've been on, and certainly been a while since I've done anything on the scriptures. So I'm hoping people will get on and pay attention. Because I think, in my opinion, in my observations, in my going through these scriptures time and again and trying to learn as much as I can about these scriptures and how to correlate them with all the laws that we're dealing with today in the modern times commercial system, it truly is a banker's book. And this is one of the most important ones in regards to how I see things, particularly nowadays, because of my research and going over this chapter again and again. Because those of you that know me from back 5 years ago when I had my case, I was a pretty belligerent guy, and you can go back in my videos and you can see my I don't want to say personality, but my temperament. I've been able to quell my temperament, and I hopefully am getting better and better as days go by. And this particular chapter is one of the main reasons of that final or that particular milestone, I'll call it, in knowing myself. And so I'm going to start out. Well, first, greetings again, everybody. Just for you, a little peace treaty. Because that's truly what it's all about, folks. We got to come to peace with ourselves first before we can come to peace with others. And that's the foundation of everything we're dealing with today, whether you want to think of it as a physical war or a spiritual war. Everybody recognizes that somewhere along the line, everything seems like a war. So, in that, and my research here in the last 5 years in regards to my last case, and all the other things in my life that brought me to that point of just finally saying no. And it's Proverbs 24. And as we see, in Proverbs 24 it says, Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. And see, I never had any problem with this part. I never desired to be with evil people. It's always been in my heart I wanted to be with good people. The problem was this part. I was envious because I was brought up in a commercial world. At the age of 10, I was told to go out and get a paper out and learn about money. And I don't know how, when you guys wrote your first checks, but I was writing them at the age of 10. I started learning about the monetary system, and I'm telling you what, I'm a survivor. For their heart studieth destruction. Everybody that studies all this knowledge for jobs and credit scores and bank loans and real estate loans and business loans and securities investments, that's all for your destruction. That's the intent of the person. That's why he's not a respecter of person. And their lips talk of mischief. And when their lips talk of mischief, and then they turn around and turn those phonemes into graphemes by morphing them onto paper, and in that they turn around and morph them even more by using multiple languages and denoting things by numbers, gender, and so forth for census statistics. And it's all for research so they can determine what might happen in the future. They're trying to plan things out, and I'm telling you, folks, every time you make a plan, he's going to laugh at you. He's going to set you on your ass. Through wisdom is an household builded, and by understanding it is established. And only is that house builded by observing things first. See, when we grow up and we are supposed to have come to some kind of perception of our innocent little lives at about 7 years of age to have some kind of talent that others can patently observe without being inoculated with all this education. And we grow in that first and foremost. And then we can get to the reading, writing, and arithmetic according to its priority. Not for some future investment so that we can make a mark for a man by a logo or a brand or something. So we can just do it like Nike. If you're going to just do it, I hope you just do it by the word. And by knowledge shall the chambers, the purses, all those bureaus, all the drawers, be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Pleasant. Do you see the root in there? See, I'm told to ask and ye shall receive. And that when I ask my Father, I'm praying to Him and I'm asking Him, I'm supposed to do so in private. I'm supposed to go in the chamber. And all that is precious is His counsel, His immutable promise of His counsel and full faith under His full armor. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength. And they all write about this. Every one of these people that talk about the land of law warfare, the Liber Code, the Law of Nations, the Art of War, all of them, they all write the same concept. And I quote Sun Tzu in his writings of the Art of War. To defeat one's opponent without fighting is of supreme excellence. Pleasant as an adjective. And they say late 14th century. And that's just merely when the word itself was formed in this way. But in forming it this way, it meant pleasing or acceptable to God. Acceptable to God. Also agreeable, desirable, delightful, delicious, satisfying to the mind or senses. Remember I talked about observing and it being delicious, and it's delightful and desirable and agreeable. That's all in persons. Make sure you keep those emotions controlled. Charming, gracious. Gracious, we think about the grace. And charm, we think about the spelling. In the beginning was the word. How's that word spelled? Is it spelled as pleasant? Or is it spelled as godly? So would pleasant be the same as godly? I mean, it's acceptable to God. So in my own opinion, creating my own definition, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and godly riches. So I can make a footnote just like King James Version did here and change it so it would be better perceived. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. So if I go to his counsel and he tells me to use my words, he that lives by the sword dies by the sword. So if you want to live by the pen, you're going to have to create something that's going to pull that bitch off the paper. Excuse my language. Because I'm going to beat you with my words. Matter of fact, my tongue is a pen with no ink. In case most people have not heard it. And in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. I thank you all, for I have been a fool. But at opening my mouth, not in the gate. I found the gate. By realizing I was the fool. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. And I want people to comprehend here, mischievous being relative to foolishness, being synonymous in this sense. Deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. I'm a fool. But only because I didn't have any intent. And it was because I was fooled. So in this sense, I was foolish. But in that foolishness, I wasn't committing sin. Those that deviseth to do evil, those that have that intent. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. My story is one of walking into the lion's den, calling them out for what they are. And like I said, I was belligerent, I was foolish. I could have done it a better way. But my strength certainly wasn't small. And it was an amazing journey sitting in that jail cell, or that little prison environment for 47 days. 110 pounds, guys. Nobody scares me. And this isn't the first time I've been to jail. I walk tall because I know how to behave. I know how to act with other people. No matter who they are. Even if you lock me up with a bunch of them that are supposedly the evilest people on earth. and you profess that you, as some kind of authority figure, have so much more power than they do? And yet I walk out. I walked out of that lion's den refusing to do anything they asked. And to this day, they still have on their record a nice little setup on fines. They still have some kind of supposed order for drug eval. 5 years later, they're still pushing that protection order, though. How do you suppose that's going to work when they want to try to push that stuff? They want a DNA sample. Really? If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain. If thou sayest, Behold, we know it not, doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? So even questioning somebody that is coming to you in peace, isn't that showing that your own intent is deceitful? If somebody comes to you in peace, a stranger, a sojourner, a traveler, we're not supposed to question them. We're supposed to open our door, bathe them, clothe them, feed them, give them shelter for the night. All for nothing. Simply because they're our neighbor. And we would want them to do that for us. And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? Know thyself. Right there, brothers and sisters. And shall not he render to every man according to his works? Do you guys realize what this is saying without saying it? Can you see the mirror image here? Can you see that, and shall not he render to every man according to his works? So if a man hasn't harmed you, why would you question his motive? My son, eat thou honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste. Change your perspective, people. I urge you. I urge you. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. Not your mind, but to the soul. You know, that breath of life. So that man became a living soul, and now his word becomes to life. My tongue is the pen without ink. Let me thirst your quench for wisdom, people. When thou hast found it, then there shall be a reward, and thy expectations shall not be cut off. I know better now. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. Get out of my way. Get out of our way. I am a stranger and sojourner with him. In case you didn't realize that equal station already. For a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again. But the wicked shall fall into wickedness. The wicked shall fall into mischief. Mischief. You think they lost who their father was? You suppose they're the bastard children? Rejoice not when thine enemy hath fallen, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. See, this thing about my last court case, I was vehement and I was going to go after him, and I was tallying up that money. I was tallying up the millions. And I was going to go after him. because I didn't know who my father was. But now that I've recognized my enemy and how hard they fall, like I said, I walked out of that lion's den refusing to do anything they told me, lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. See, my mom used to tell me, Keith, how are you going to learn how to fly like an eagle if you keep hanging with that flock of turkeys? It's sad. I think most of us grew up as little children believing that picture of the eagles that we want to be when we grow up were the police, Navy, Army soldiers, Marines, doctors, nurses, teachers, lawyers, judges, bankers, counselors. There's a good one. What are they really counseling? Are they counseling education? Are they counseling politics? Are they counseling religion? Are they counseling medical practice under an oath to Apollo? Are they practicing? For there shall be no reward to the evil man. So when they're involved in all these practices and they need a license for so they can prove that they're a professional and worth that compensation, how much is that compensation going to protect you? How much of those bonds and insurance going to protect you? Doctors, nurses, lawyers, bankers, judges. When you end up on the other side of that track, when you end up in those walls, you might be 250 pounds. But I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of them in there that don't like you. And that's where you fail. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. Where do you think they're going to put that candle out? You think you're going to proudly walk the streets? You're going to end up in jail somewhere. Let me tell you, you'll likely get put out there. My son, fear thou Lord, thou the Lord and the King, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For he makes all things new. Fear not, I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by name. You are mine. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. So be not thou envious against evil men, but neither desire to be with them. He that saith unto the wicked, Thou art righteous, him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him. See, before I was formed in the belly, he knew me. Before I was cast from the womb, he knew me. I was sanctified by him. I was ordained by him a prophet unto the nations, to all my neighbors. And all my neighbors, you came by the same process. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them. So when we're rebuking their evil, twisted tongues and abiding by Isaiah 54, verse 17, and the very first verse tells us to sing. We're to sing, so that no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Everything they do is for prosperity of that money, that commerce. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. And every man shall kiss his lips that giveth a right answer. Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. So like I said earlier, we're supposed to go out and learn our talents, and then build our house. So when we are able to kiss our lips and give a right answer, it's because we are able to produce words that are fitly spoken, providing apples or golden apples in silver frames. We're able to coin our words. That's how we build our house, with the words of the house that's already built. Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause. So if you already recognize you're not supposed to be a witness against thy neighbor without cause, then why are you asking him for a cause? By asking him anything without first placing that without recourse reservation of peace. Welcome, brother. What can I do for you? And deceive not with thy lips. Say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. We must recognize the man for what they are. If he hasn't harmed us, then why would we question his sincerity? Why would we even think about that? See, today I question the sincerity of people that are walking around in all these suits and ties and driving around in Lamborghinis and stuff, working in banks and courts. I have high regard for those capacities, but great disdain for how they're being handled. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. This is talking about you people, when you sit there crying wolf, expecting everybody else to help you out. In the meantime, nobody's cutting your nails. Nobody's getting down to the root issues. And so they all get overgrown. And they cover you up. And nobody sees the true beauty because you're caught up in the quagmire. You got that evil thing that where you fell into the mischief. You got to be just. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty. See, he didn't promise us riches in earth. Our riches are in heaven. So shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth. He told us we're strangers and sojourners with him. So why do we seek earthly treasures when we have his heavenly riches with us at all times? Why are we waiting to go to heaven to get them? And thy want as an armed man. Come in peace. Realize your armorial bearing. Find out where your morals are. Quit looking all around to everybody else. They're right there with you. It's all the farther you got to go. You just got to get rid of all the damn thorns and bullshit. Then maybe you can see better. And you can realize, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And I don't desire to be like them. So instruct me against that destruction, so that I can establish and build my house of your wisdom and understanding. And by knowledge I shall fill the chambers with your heirs, your precious, pleasant riches here on earth. Anyway, I hope you guys pay attention to this and take this one to heart. This is telling you how to give up. Give it to him. He's your counsel. That's all you need. Do it right, you're going to find every answer. And a lot of times, it's going to be pretty snappy because, like I said, he's right there. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to post my PayPal link in my other forums. And I hope you guys, if you don't hit that PayPal link, at least share the forums, the information, and the videos and everything. And join me again next time. Remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless. Love you.